And welcome back. It is the WXCO Morning Report, part of Mornings with Pat Kreitlow on 98.9 WXCO. I am Chad Holmes along with Ian Welsh. Ian, again, good morning to you.
Good morning, Chad.
You're 1 for 2 on our number for the day quiz this week.
Yes, I am.
So we're going to see if you can make it 2 out of 3 and clinch a winning week a little bit later on in the program. But to start things off here today, and Hump Day Wednesday, and really happy to welcome back Christine Martens again from the Friends of Wausau Historic Landmarks. Christine, good to see you.
Good morning.
And also Carl Martens. And Carl, good to see you again.
Yeah,
I'm going to have you both get a little bit closer to those microphones.
Oh,
Make sure
boy.
everybody is be able to hear it, because we want to talk about some very interesting stuff with Friends of Wausau Historic Landmarks. But before we talk about, I think, some very fun activities that you're going to be dealing with here very, very soon, a person that would come in with you, a person that was very important to the Friends of Wausau Historic Landmarks. Gary Gisselman just recently passed away. And I know that it's a huge loss for so many folks here in the Wausau area, but I know it's a massive loss for Friends of Wausau Historic Landmarks, isn't it?
Well, it is, because Gary was our guiding hand. He was an original member back when it started in the 80s, and he brought it back about, 10, 15 years ago, because he knew it was important. He knew what, reminding people about the importance of historic buildings and history was incredibly important. So he brought it back, and he guided us through a lot. And mostly he was just a really good friend. And, we became very close over the years, all 4 of us. We're a very small group. So missing one person is a lot. And like I say, mostly he was just a close friend of all of us.
You had actually sent me a note to talk about some of these events you wanted to talk about here today before he passed on. And then you sent a note, well, we're going to kind of take a step back here, and I'll get back to you in terms of when you want to come on. And something you said before we came on the air, you said he would make sure that you wanted to continue, and that these events are important, and having this organization is very important, isn't it?
Absolutely. I would think Gary had a love of history, of course, but most importantly, it was sharing the history with people.
Right.
Not just learning yourself, but going out, sharing, getting other people excited about the history so they could pass it along to more people. And I would think it would be one of his wishes to continue the work of this group. He put a lot of thought and effort and skill into this group.
And one of the aspects here that is so nice is that this area has a lot of landmarks. I mean, history
Yes.
is all over the place when you talk about Wausau and Marathon County, and that's what you're going to continue to do. And what is next? Where are we going to start here? Because, you actually have a number of different things that we can be talking about. Where do you want to start here this morning?
Well, let's start with what's up this week.
Thursday, right?
On
Tomorrow,
Thursday.
actually, as we air this.
Yes,
So,
I guess it's Thursday.
Yeah. And I'm gonna share a little secret here of our radio, because sometimes we bring in our guests the day before, after the show ends, because it's easier just to record it here. And so the radio magic that you're hearing, so you're thinking it's in 2 days, and no, when people hear it, it's in 1 day on Thursday.
Okay. Well, tomorrow we will be doing our last architecture amble of the season, and we decided to kind of switch it up a bit, and we will be doing a tour of the 5th district. Gary was representative of the 5th district, and last year we actually did that area from Athletic Field and north. This time we'll start at Athletic Field and go south and check out more of the residential area rather than the industrial area. They go hand in hand, of course, but so we're going to wander around, like I say, around Athletic Field, check out some local favorites like Zillman's.
Yep.
Gotta love
You
Zillman's.
gotta love Zillman's. Exactly right.
And we've been looking into what was that? What is it called? The Hmong Market.
Oh, sure. Yep.
What was there before that? And
Oh.
that whole area. And sometimes you can be surprised by what comes up in the area. I was doing some research in the city directory, and there's a building on 6th Street that used to be the Breakaway Club. Most people would know it as that in the 80s and 90s.
Isn't that real quickly? I want to jump in because when you talk about that, sometimes I'll be driving and there's there's one of the drugstores. There's like back to back, by Bridge Street on Bridge Street. There's one that's a Walgreens and there's another. I forget what the name of it. It's one of those
CVS.
But yeah, CVS. But back when I was younger, there was this wood place. I forget what it was called, but it was there for many, many, many years. Then it got torn down. I don't know how many years ago. But when I drive by there, I still think of that place. I think a lot of people think back to the old buildings, even many years afterwards, where there's something new. Because anybody that grows up in this area, they remember what it used to be, and
Exactly.
and it's actually more fun that way, isn't it?
And that's how you give directions, of course.
Of course.
I believe what you're looking at is Stone's building.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
And that building was actually dismantled and is being stored.
Oh.
And it has been looked at a few different times.
Because wasn't that building there for like the turn of the century, if I'm not mistaken? Maybe I'm wrong on that.
I think even before that, I'm trying to remember, but I believe this is where Gary would be really important. No more crutch to lean on. It had the first like dynamo.
Oh.
I guess you would call it, for electric.
Oh, wow.
To power it. If I remember right, I apologize if that's incorrect.
But that's
that
cool.
is my memory of that. And like I say, they keep thinking about reusing that building since it is dismantled carefully. So, but yes, it's all about looking backward at what used to be places.
Wonderful memories.
Absolutely.
Real quickly, you talked about, and Carl, you can jump in as well, during this event on Thursday, more of the residential area. How much turnover is there? I mean, when you take a tour there, are there houses that have been around for a very long time that you're going to visit on Thursday?
Yes. Actually, that neighborhood is kind of interesting in that when I was when we were doing the looking up when things were built, there seemed to be in the late 1800s, 1890s, late 1890s, there was several that were built and are still there. And then there was another building, a building, I don't know, lots being built in about 1910 and a little bit later than that. So a lot of those houses go back to about the turn of the century.
Really? Those houses are still up?
A lot of them are, yes.
That is very interesting.
It's a good mix over there, and it's a good mix of architectural styles as well, really. I mean, a lot of them are just called front gabled, which means when you look at the house, where the roof comes together is in the front.
Right.
But there are some interesting ones over there, and I think it'll be fun when we take a walk through.
Carl, for folks who maybe haven't taken a walk with your group before for an event like this, what can they expect to say? They want to show up and see a little bit of this history of part of Wausau in this neighborhood. What can people expect?
Oh boy, a lot of history, of course. But for this one, actually, I like to label it beef, booze, and baseball.
There you go.
Because you got Zillman's over there too. Pretty much we'll walk a few city blocks, stop at places outside. We got a new sound system so you can hear us really well. We did a tour a few months ago in the 3M area, and we could talk over the 3M noise. So
which is nice.
It's really good. Someone said they could turn off their hearing aid. It was a shocker, but but yeah, walk 3 blocks, like few city blocks. We usually try to make a square so you can end up back where you park.
Sure.
But a lot of history.
And we always encourage, you were talking about memories there earlier. We always encourage people to if they have a memory of a place, like Carl was saying, booze, Partners Pub is in there.
Mm-hmm.
In that area, I think it's Partners Pub. And that bar actually goes back to the late 1800s. And it didn't start as a bar, but it's been in the neighborhood pretty much since the neighborhood started, as is typical. And so we're hoping, some good memories come out. One time we had a couple of people when we were touring over by the old dairy, Kleinheinz Dairy on 2nd Avenue. And we were talking about the fire department, and somebody's like, I live right next door to that. And she describes this big white house. And all of a sudden, this other gentleman comes up. I lived in that house too. So her parents sold it to his parents. And so we have those kind of connections. So like Carl says, there's a lot of history being shared. But we also encourage people to share their memories and their history, because a lot of times people from the neighborhoods come.
And that connects the people of this area along with the structures as well. So this is Thursday. What time does this begin?
Oh, good question.
6 o'clock.
6 a.m.
p.m. 6 p.m.
I thought 6 a.m. That's way too early. No, 6 p.m. on Thursday. Meet at Athletic Park. Is that
correct?
Okay.
On East Wass Avenue, sort of at the front gate.
Can't miss it. Can't miss it.
That's what
Real
we
quickly,
figured.
and that's a historic venue itself. I mean, the people who are maybe new to Wausau see the renovations that have occurred in recent years, but that ballpark has been here for a very long time. Do you know how long that ballpark? I shouldn't throw a curveball baseball term here at you. Any idea how long that baseball diamond field has been there? Any idea? I'm sure I can find
early 1900s.
Yeah, I know.
I can't remember the exact date, but
I know some of the bricks and stuff like that and the rocks are pretty original. They kept that as part of the venue, which is wonderful to have that historical aspect as well.
Yeah, those were done by the Works Progress Administration actually in the 30s. So
wow, very cool indeed. Okay, so again, Thursday at 6, meet at Athletic Park for the tour of Gary Gisselman's old neighborhood. Basically, that's
more or less, and part of his district,
right?
And as always, it is free. Please wear walking shoes, because you never know if the sidewalks are even.
That is so true. But that's not all that's going on. And I wanted to ask you, this Tour de Marathon County. You got the Tour de France, you got the Tour de Marathon County. What is the Tour de Marathon County?
Well, I'll take this one away.
Absolutely, Carl.
Well, last year I decided, and as a group, we decided that we needed to start exploring outside of Wausau, because all these cities are connected to Wausau in some sort of way. Last year we did west, where we went to Stratford, Athens, and Edgar, and Brokoff and Mosinee. But this year we're actually heading out to Ringgold, and we got two people in Ringgold, some locals helping us, and then we're going to be stopping in Hatley. Got some help there in St. Florian, and then we're stopping way over in Elderon.
I went to Elderon Elementary School for half my my kindergarten year. So I know Elderon very well. So that's wonderful. I actually, my folks lived in Galloway, which was right by Elderon. So I actually spent some very formative years in Galloway. So that's a wonderful area to visit.
You might actually like this book we have right here.
An Elderon book, looking back. Very wonderful.
Yeah, it was written by John Powers, who is helping us, and is sold from the Wittenberg Historical Society.
Well, my mom grew up in that area, went to Wittenberg High School. I may have to tell her about this, get her out there and tour. I think she'd be able to get around pretty well, but no, I mean, there's so many people that now live in the Wausau area that grew up in some of these smaller communities in Marathon County that would be connected to as well. So that's wonderful to be able to visit some of these smaller areas, the rural areas of Marathon County, where there's so much history as well. There's history everywhere, isn't there?
There is.
That's the bottom line. There's so many interesting things in terms, and you said you're very fortunate to have some folks from these areas that love history as much that you're able to lean on and add to the whole experience, right?
Right. I want to say Bevent, but the church they were working with, I struggle with saying the name. So
St. Ladislaus.
Yeah, St. Ladislaus. Yep, absolutely.
Yep. So we'll be in Bevent and ending in Mosinee.
Fantastic. When is this going on?
September 27th. It's a Saturday. Starts at noon and ends about 5:30.
Yeah, a lot to get to.
It's a good sized tour. And like Carl says, at each stop we are working with people because they are all very knowledgeable, and it gives people more than just, well, Carl and I standing at the front of the bus and
Right.
saying, "This is Elderon." We have somebody saying, "Welcome to Elderon. Let me tell you about this place and my
It's-
memories." And
That's the thing. I have that personal aspect where
Mhm.
something happened that they know about, that they may have seen. I imagine that just adds to the entire experience where it's not dry. There's real life to it, right?
Exactly. And Carl and I have been going out and meeting these folks
Mhm.
ahead of time, and we've had a great time meeting these people. They're all so excited, and they should be, about presenting their community and its history and some of its architecture. And it's they're sometimes kind of amazed that we'd want to bring a busload of people out there, but like Carl said, we're all connected, and we need to look at these things at all these places. And this last Saturday, Carl and I learned in Elderon, I was kind of amused. There's a really good food scene currently, in case you did not know that.
Good burgers, real good burgers.
And the thing about it is, there are so many bad burgers out there. When you find a good burger, you're gonna take that trip.
Oh yeah.
There's nothing better on a Saturday or a Friday night or
Mhm.
just any time than a good burger. So
Exactly.
see the tidbits you're going to be able to learn on this tour to Marathon County. You mentioned that Thursday's event. You show up free. Is it similar for this? Or is it different? Would you like to have people maybe sign up or anything like this being a little bit bigger?
The bus tour is $50, just enough to cover the bus.
Sure.
So community.
Drive all on Marathon
Yeah.
County. There's some travel. So yeah, it makes it easier than having to get everybody in their own vehicle and then drive all over the place, right?
We rent a coach bus from Lamers,
nice.
so it's a comfy ride.
Yes, it is.
$50. The tickets go on sale September 1st over at Yankee Bookstore. So
And I was going to say, and Jane will get you all hooked up with a ticket. And we start from actually not at last year we started at Marathon County Historical Society. This year we're going to start at
DC Everest High School.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's actually a good place to get to that part of the county. You're exactly right.
Yeah, we're going to Schofield Ave all the way out to Ringo. So
Very nice. And you still have the website that people can get information at?
Yes, we do. Wausau Historic Landmarks.org. And we do have a Facebook as well, of course, where we're keeping people up to date on all these folks we're meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And any other details we'll be sure we add when you purchase a ticket. But like Carl said, it's a nice comfy ride on a coach bus.
And
so
what I'm going to do as well is we have a show page where we're going to have the podcast for our discussion, and we'll make sure to put the direct link, because you had given me the link for the tour to Marathon County, and we'll give a link to your Facebook page as well. So if people just go to our website, go to our morning report for Wednesday, you'll be able to, number one, listen again to the discussions that we have this morning. Plus, we'll have the links to the Wausau Historic Landmarks website and the information for this very, very intriguing trek coming up in about a month's time. A little more than a month.
Yep.
So you got time to plan it out and to learn a little bit more about it, and then a fall Saturday. I think there's nothing better than that. Hopefully it'll be a beautiful sunny fall Saturday. But at the same time, I've been on plenty of Lamers coaches and they're very comfortable. So that's a wonderful way to travel around Marathon County.
Definitely.
Anything else you want to add before we wrap it up?
No, thank you very much for having us, and keep watching for other events as we keep planning them throughout the year. Something we are working on. We started working with a gentleman named John Anderson, and he's out taking photos. So we are working towards having a portal on our website of photos of local historic buildings. Doesn't have to be a honest, good, an official landmark, but buildings of interest, buildings that maybe are endangered.
Or just special in some way.
Right. And so he
don't have to go to the government and get an official seal for it. As long
Nope.
as it means something to you, it's wonderful to share.
Exactly. So we've been very excited to start working with him, and he's a lovely guy, and he is part of a local photography club. So real honest to goodness photos, not just me popping around with my camera or with my phone. So
fantastic, wonderful, great to be hear about it. And again, real quickly for the folks that tomorrow, Thursday, 6 p.m. Athletic Park, and a chance, number one, to see a wonderful part of the Wausau area, and also a chance to remember Gary a little bit as well.
Absolutely.
Well, Christine and Carl. Christine Martens and Carl Martens, thank you both for coming on in. And again, best of luck with these events. And anytime, come on by and let us know what you're up to.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having us again.
We're going to take a quick time out and then back with more here on 98.9 WXCO.
And we're clear.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Nope.